I'm gonna be taking inspiration from Brutalism to make a few builds in Minecraft. Now, I'm not perfect in my definition of Brutalism, but the basic definition is just building out of concrete, or in my case, stone. A more accurate definition would be an architecture style characterized by the use of unfinished concrete in bold geometric forms, often resulting in imposing and monumental structures. So like I said, building out of concrete. I got this idea after watching another YouTuber named DePuffin. Now, I'm not like him. I'm not an architecture student, and I'm honestly not really into architecture. But I really like the concept, and hopefully the builds fit into the definition of brutalism. I could have built these in creative and called it a day, but I wanted to have them in a survival world where people could see them. So I built them on the No Hack Anarchy server, Purity Vanilla. I did design them in creative beforehand, since this isn't a style I'm used to. You can try to find them for yourself, assuming they haven't been griefed yet. The first build I started with was a tower. It basically staircases up, and each layer is bigger than the lower one. I doubt this building would stand on its own in real life, but that isn't really the point. The shape of it also kind of reminds me of a hopper. I didn't really have any sort of inspiration for this one, so I just kind of winged it, but I like the way it turned out. For the second build, I made cubes that intersected each other, which led to a really interesting build. I had some inspiration from this one from a building called Habitat 67 that I had seen on Reddit. It's not really the same as the inspiration, just the way it looked like it was intersecting cubes and stuff is really how it inspired this build. Overall, I really like this one. It feels like one of the nicer, unique things I've ever built in Minecraft. I also really love how this brutalist style doesn't have me farming 500 kinds of blocks. I literally stole all this stone off a base mate from when we had to get rid of a mountain. For the third build, I've gone a bit bigger than the first two. Originally, this was just the corner towers you see, or just one of those towers, but ended up turning into a castle. I think it's a castle. It kind of looks like a castle, I don't know. It technically was the first build I did when I was testing in creative, but honestly it might have turned out the best out of these builds. I really like the way the tops of the towers and the middle building turned out. My only issue is the middle strips of these aren't spawn proof, and I feel like if I added lighting, it would just look stupid, like if it was a torch or a lantern or whatever. I also made a couple raised up farms. It was more just a simple design that I thought would fit in with the rest of these builds. And to end it off, I made a modified version of the creeper statues I've been building. The main difference being that I sunk the face in, and instead of black concrete I used deep slate, and also I put a stair pattern on the front. But that's everything I ended up building for this base. I hope you all enjoyed my buildings, and let me know what you think. I don't really know a whole lot about brutalism, but I hope they fit correctly into this category. If you have any tips or critiques on these builds, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to get better at building, and that is the reason I made this video in the first place. I probably could have tried a bit harder on the interiors, but they've never been my strong suit. If you have any ideas for what could go good in the interiors, I'd love to hear it. Whether it fits the theme or whether it's just general decoration tips or anything. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.